Hey guys, and welcome to my channel. My name is Karen and welcome to our Irish family. So today I am going to do how much we spent at Disney and how much we paid to go to Disneyland Paris. So I always know that when I'm looking at videos, I'm always kind of wondering how much are these people spending and how much should they pay to get there. And I don't mind sharing that. If you know, I love to share all things budgeting and all that sort of stuff. So I'm just going to jump in and share the costs with you, and then I'm going to share just some tips that I picked up along the way that I think might be helpful for some of you if you are going over there in the near future. So I'm going to look down. I'm going to kind of look to the side, down, all this way, because I have like a notepad and my phone. So the first thing was we went from March 26th to April the 1st. We were there for 4 nights, 5 days. We booked directly with Disney because they had the best deal at the time. I'm always on the lookout for deals. I go through all of the different sites, all of the different places, and you know, basically go through all of the combinations of what is best for us. Because we hadn't been there before as a family, myself and Robert were there, but that was 15 years ago. We decided to stay on site was, you know, just the easier option for us. And then we got our park tickets included. So we stayed in Disney's Hotel Chennai, which is like their budget kind of accommodation, but it was absolutely perfect. I have a room tour if you're interested in that in the description. It's from our travel day vlog. So we booked that back in October. So at the time that I booked it, again, for 4 nights in the Hotel Chennai and then 5-day park tickets, and that's 5 days 2 parks. So the hopper ticket going between both parks, that ended up being €950.85, which works out per person, per the 3 of us, it worked out as €316.95, and over the 5 days it worked out as €190.17 per night, which means it would have been €63 per person per day for our accommodation and our tickets. And when you consider a 1-day park ticket just into Disneyland Park on its own is €156 for the 2 adults, 1 child, or if you wanted to do 1 day 2 parks, it would have been €288, or the best I could kind of find is a 4-day park ticket where you're hopping between both of the parks. That was €660, which means that we would have paid, if we got that option, we would have got our hotel for €291, let's say. So I think either way that we worked that out, we got a good price, because when I was pricing the other off-site hotels, I couldn't get it in for that like 300 mark for the 4 nights, and they were coming over, and that just could have been the time I was looking, but that's just how it was. So €950.85 was for the Disney park and the Disney ticket, so 5-day hopper tickets. We flew with Aer Lingus, so I booked that on the 27th of December. So it was just after St. Stephen's Day, and they had a bit of a deal on. When I originally looked, it was at a good price, and then of course it shot up, you know, and then they brought it back down to pretty much the same price after Christmas on the 27th. So we got that for €359.95, which works out as about €120 per person. Which I thought was pretty good. We flew into Charles de Gaulle Airport, and no problems at all. Every single time I book any trip, I book travel insurance. Because I had only assumed that we were only going to go on 1 trip this year, I had just booked a single travel insurance. I always recommend, and it was recommended to me when I started traveling, that you book your travel insurance the same day that you book the first thing that got to do with your upcoming holiday. So I booked our travel insurance. It was just single for 3 people. I think it was like the mid-range of the benefits, because there's usually like 3 types you can get, and it was basically €40, so €39.31. But like I said, if you are going to go on holidays anytime soon, I'd advise that the minute you book your holiday, the minute you buy your accommodation or book park tickets or book your flight, to buy your travel insurance on the exact same day, because then it will be covered. So then the car park, so I mentioned this in my vlogs, we park at the blue car park. It's just simpler and easier for us to get in and out of that, plus it's also the cheapest. So we booked that on the 3rd of February, and remember we flew on the 26th of March, so we booked that on the 3rd of February, and it was 36 euros, and it was for 5 or 6 days because of the times we were coming in and out at. Then our transfer, so when we were in, when we got to Charles de Gaulle after our flight, we picked up a transfer, and we used RS Transport, and we booked their shared transport option. Now it ended up being that we were the only people there. It was just a regular car that they picked us up, and it was 90 euros their like return. So they picked us up at the airport, and they had a little sign with our name, and you know, we got in the car and they drove us to the entrance of our hotel, and the same on when we were coming back, they collected us at the hotel and drove us straight to the terminal door, and even instructed us where to go once we get in there for our Aer Lingus check-in desk. Now, we didn't need it, but he didn't know that. I just thought it was a great service. So it was the shared shuttle we booked, and it was 90 euros. We ended up paying 100 euros because I just gave him a little bit extra, but you don't have to do that. It's 45 euros in cash on the day that we paid. And then when we were over there, we brought 1,000 euros with us, because we said 200 euros per day between buying like dinners, lunches, breakfasts, and then, you know, just spending money on snacks and buying a couple of things for Ava. Now Ava did have her own separate money, but you know, if we saw anything, you know, we could put money to it. Of that 1,000 euros that we brought with us, remember 200 euros per day, we spent 815 euros, making it 163 euros per day. Now just to delve into that just a little bit more, basically when we arrived on that first day, we spent 148 euros and 30 cents, and that was our breakfast in the airport, the transfer. We then got like pizzas in Disney Park, we got some water, we got popcorn bucket, a balloon, we paid for those things, and then we got McDonald's on the way back, and that was 148 euros 30 cents. On the second day we spent 176 euros 55 cents. So in the morning we always went to, which would be one of my tips, we went to the train station, and there's a relay shop in there, and we spent 13 euros 80 cents on sandwiches and water. I bought a photo pass access, which is to have access to the photos that were taken by professional photographers there in the park, and also the ones on the ride, and that was 75 euros. We bought a crepe for 4 euros. Our lunch that day was at Cowboy Cookout, was 43 euros. We went back to the shop outside in the train station, 12 euros 80 cents. Then Robert and Ava got a meal in Earl of Sandwich for 20 euros 45 cents, and then Robert did get a pint in the bar at our hotel for 7 euros 50 for 1 pint. So 176 euros 55 cents is what we spent on day 2. Day 3 we spent 100 euros and 20 cents, and that consisted of going to that shop inside the train station, 12 euros 70. Lunch was 41 euros. We then got some snacks, which was 11 euros 30. We then got Casey's Corner for our dinner, was 31.40, and then again we got a water inside the Starbucks at our hotel, was 3 euros 80, making it 120 cents. Day 4 we ate in the Rainforest Cafe, and we paid 100 euros for that, and that included a 9 euro tip in that 100 euros. We did have lunch elsewhere, and it was 38 euros. Water 3.80. We had to buy some plasters or band-aids. They were 6.90 in the shop inside our hotel. Donuts and candy floss were 8 euros, and the mini Mickey waffles were 5 euros. So we spent 161 euros 70 cents on day 4, and then on the final day we spent 10 euros in the shop in the morning. We went back to Rainforest Cafe and we spent 81 euros, and that included a 7 euros tip. And we got some magnets were 12 euros. Food in the airport was 8 euro. Our airport transfer was 50 euros, and then inside the airport we did get like coffee and like some sort of pastry, and it was 9.50, so we spent 170 euros and 50 cents for a total spending of 815 euros in total. So if we add up all of that, so our hotel, our park tickets, our flights, our travel insurance, car park, our transfers, and how much we spent there, we ended up spending 2,301 euros and 73 cents over the 5 days. So if we kind of or for the 5 days, should I say. So if we work that out, just by how much a day that costs us, and again remember that's our hotel, flights and tickets as well, over the 5 days would have been 460 euros a day. Let's do that again. So divided by 5, divided by 3, which would be 153 euros per person per day, for the 3 of us. So yeah, that's kind of it. You know, like some people will say that they get better deals, some people say that that is a deal, but for us at the time that we were booking, that was a really, really good deal, and I still think that it is a really, really good deal, and it was a budget trip. If we were to go back again in the same year, or if we had planned to go back again in the same year, I would have bought annual pass tickets. But we don't plan to do that. You know, maybe in the future that might be a thing, we could go twice a year at different seasons, but you know, for right now it wasn't. But I think overall, for hotels, flights, transfers, all of those sorts of things, including your spending 2,300 euros, I think is a really, really good deal. And let me know what you guys think. Is that good? Is that bad? What do you think? So just onto some of the tips that I picked up, and these are going to be like random things, but the first thing is the car park in Dublin Airport. So my advice is to book that as far in advance as you can. Pretty much once you know that you're going to the airport, you have your flights booked, book your airport parking as well, especially if you're going to go in those summer months, because it does just get filled up very, very quickly. I also used, not for this trip, but for our Salou trip, I did use a promo code. It was OLSC20. I'll have it here perfectly what it is, and that did get me 10% off. So if you haven't booked, and I think it's only off the blue, I think when you click in it doesn't look like the promo code actually worked, but once you kind of delve in deeper, it does appear that the discount does come off. So I'll have the coupon code here, so that's another thing as well, you know, look for discounts for these things as well. So then we go on to my biggest thing is you can bring food inside the Disney parks. So in order to save yourself some bucks, what I would do is eat in McDonald's all the time, and that's out in Disney Village, but also go inside the train station, and there's 2 relay shops. They're called Relay, and they have deals on sandwiches and water, and even without the deals, the sandwiches and water will just get you through when you're standing in the line. I think inside Disney it was like 4 or 5 euro for a bottle of water, but for like 2 washers inside that Relay shop it was like 4 euros or something for 2 bottles, bigger bottles as well, like a 1 litre bottle. So go inside. That's my biggest tip of the whole thing, and it kind of saved us a lot. Is going inside the train station in the morning, in the evening, whichever it is, and picking up your water, your Cokes, your sandwiches, your crisps, whatever it is, and that really does save you from spending extra for the same things inside Disney. So that's my biggest tip of the whole of the trip. So if you are staying in a Disney hotel, so there is Santa Fe, Chennai, the Marvel Hotel, Sequoia Lodge, Newport Bay, and I think there's like another one I can't think of. Well, there's another two, Disneyland Hotel, but that's not open right now. And then like Jiminy Cricket's or Davy Crockett's Ranch or something. And if you're in one of them, you get what's called extra magic hours. So you get 1 hour extra before the regular park guests come in, and it is an absolute lifesaver because you can get so much done and there's no queues. There's very, very minimal queues, except for if you want to get on Crush's Coaster, which is inside Walt Disney Studios. That always has a queue, but everything else is just no queues, and you can get so much done inside that hour. And then if you wanted, you could go back to your hotel, have some breakfast, or go into Disney Village, have some breakfast, and then come back into the Disney park again, you know. So definitely make use of the extra magic hour. And also, if you are a Disney hotel guest, there is a special entrance for the tickets for hotel guests. There'll be a sign, and you'll see when you go in, and there'll just be a big huge queue right down the center of the place, and you're thinking, it's going to take me forever. But if you look either to the left or the right, or even right down the sides, there is an entrance for hotel guests, and all you have to do is just show your hotel card and they'll let you through, and you get through so much more quicker. And the same if you have an annual pass, there's a separate line, and you can go in there, and it's just so much quicker. You just skip the general crowd. And also on that, when you're going through security, so you have to go through a bag check before you get into the main hub for the parks. So you can go off one side for Disney Studios or straight for Disneyland, but you have to go through a security bag check. You'll see the big huge main one there. Once you get off the bus or off the train or out of Disney Village, you'll see it. Or you won't be coming out of Disney Village. Oh, that's a separate thing. But if you're coming off the bus or the train, you'll see there's a big line. But if you stay to the right and kind of go down the side, there's like a little glass building, and if you go down there, there's a separate entrance that they will allow people in there, and it's much shorter queue. Or also, if you are staying on site and you're at one of the hotels, you can go into a separate security queue at the top of Disney Village, and then walk through Disney Village into whichever park that you're choosing to go. But yeah, let me see. So inside of the hotel room, the television, it's not a big thing, but I heard some people talking about everything's in French. Well, of course it's going to be in French because you're in France. But if you do want English, some of the channels, if you press the blue button and then select English, it does change to English. And we noticed that with Disney Junior and some of the Disney channels, it changed, and that suited us perfect because then Ava could just watch that, and we didn't get to watch anything anyways because the telly was turned off so she could go to bed. So for our transport, we used RS Transport, and I really do highly recommend them, and get the shared shuttle. I mentioned that in the pricing, but get the shared shuttle, and it will save you so much money, because usually from like Prestige and Easy Shuttle, they're like 110 euros each way, and where we literally paid 100 euros return for the shared shuttle. And it didn't really matter if there was going to be somebody else on that with us, because realistically it would took an extra 5 minutes just to drop them off wherever they're going before we get to our old hotel. So it didn't really matter to us. So if you buy a balloon, obviously you saw we bought a balloon, and then we were told when we were buying it that if in the unfortunate event that blew away, or you know, came loose and whatever, if you keep your receipt from that, but also somehow try and keep the weight, so the balloon is obviously on a weight. If you keep the weight and have your receipt, you can go and get another balloon. So that would save your child just bawling, crying. If you can keep the weight that it comes with and then have your receipt, you can go and get yourself another balloon. So that's another thing. If you get the refillable popcorn buckets, like the souvenir popcorn buckets. So you pay more at the start, but then if you want to just every single day that you're there, you can just top it up, and it is cheaper to get more popcorn that way. There's two types of popcorn there. There's salted or sweet. Salted is much better than sweet in my opinion. Something that we learned is bring a first aid kit, because Ava did slip and fall, and then when we went to ask at like the concierge desk, they weren't very helpful about it, and then just kind of said, I don't know, go inside the shop, I don't know what you're talking about. And then eventually we figured out, or the person figured out what we were talking about. You know, we showed them Ava was bleeding, and they were just looking at it like, so what do you want me to do? And then eventually we purchased the band-aids, the plasters. So bring a small first aid kit. It's something I'm definitely going to do from now on. And yeah, you can walk to the parks if you're staying on site. You still would have saw that in some of our videos. It says, like, if you go onto the Disney Chennai website, it says it takes 20 minutes, but it really doesn't take 20 minutes to walk. If you're walking pretty slow, it would take 20 minutes. But it really doesn't, and it does save, because at nighttime, especially after the fireworks, there's just so many people conversion on the free buses. So if you do still have energy, do walk back, and it's a very nice walk as well, along kind of like the river or the lake or whatever it is. So let's see. I think that's everything, guys. Oh yeah, one final thing. In Disneyland Paris, when you walk in, you'll have obviously the castle and Main Street in front of you, but on either side of that there are arcades. I think they're like Discoveryland arcade and something arcade, and they save your bacon so many times. If there's a parade on, or there's just loads of people coming out of the park at the same time, or basically if Main Street, as it happens, is just full of people, go to the sides as if you're going to go into the staff only areas, and then down there there's arcades. They're covered, they're tiled, and they're at the back of the shops. So you can either go into one of the shops at the on Main Street and go out either side, and that will get you up to the entrance or exit quicker than trying to maneuver your way through Main Street. And I think that is my final tip. I really do hope that you enjoyed all of my Disney videos. I absolutely loved every second of it, and I loved filming it. Yeah, recording it. I absolutely loved it. I would love to go back. Ava had an absolute ball, and for me and Robert, that's what it's all about. It's for her enjoyment, you know, seeing her reactions, and that's why we record it. So she loves to look back on things that we've done, and because she can't remember, of course, you know. So yeah, I absolutely love it. So yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching my video. We will have some videos from Salou coming up, because we are going on a Salou trip in a couple of days. In 2 days we're going, so that is going to be another adventure for us to go on. So if you're interested in that, please do subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And what's very important is hitting that notification bell button, because it will let you know every single time I upload a new video. So you can get in there and you can get watching. Please leave a comment if you have any, you know, anything to say about what I've been sharing, or a few of your own tips on Disneyland Paris, something that you picked up on one of your trips. Leave that below, because that could help people out as well. That's it, guys. Thank you so much. Bye.